I'm going to go through some of the problems that people run into with linking verbs, with clarifying whether or not they're action or linking verbs, because this comes up with a number of them. Some of the linking verbs are always linking verbs, such as the verb to be or the verb to become or seem. Those are always linking verbs. So if I say, Dougie is tired, it's obviously a linking verb. But some of the verbs, actually most of the linking verbs, can at times be linking verbs, or they can be action verbs. They aren't in between. Whenever they're actually used in a sentence, they have to decide which side of the street they're going to be on. The analogy could be that in baseball you can bat left and right, but when you go up to bat, you have to pick one side of the plate or the other. You can't bat from both sides of the plate at the same time. So some of those words on the some of those verbs on the linking verb list can sometimes be linking, or they can sometimes be action. They cannot be both at the same time, however. Okay? The way you tell the difference is if that A equals B logic works. If it does, you have a linking verb. If it does not, you have an action verb. And when you use it as an action verb, it should be something you do. It should be something you do. So you have to take a look at it. Now, it's very important to keep in mind, if you're not on the linking list, you're not a linking verb. You can't be. Action verbs, such as run or throw or, or speak, those aren't on the linking list. Those are always action verbs. Okay? So this only applies to about 10 or so of the linking verbs on the linking list. Okay, let's take a look at them. In these 4 examples, Chloe felt happy today. So the verb is felt. Okay, it's on the linking list as feel, so that one could be a linking verb. But with all linking verbs, you do need to test them. You can't just tell, hey, it's on the linking list, therefore it's a linking verb. It's not that simple. You have to actually test it with the A equals B. Okay? Here it is again. Boris felt the soft fabric. It's on the linking list, but you don't know if it's a linking verb until you test it with the A equals B. So in both cases, we have a word or a verb from the linking list. Both of these could be linking verbs. Both of these could be action verbs. We have to test them. There is no way to just look at them and determine it. You actually do need to run the A equals B test to see if they are action or linking. So if it's a linking verb, I should be able to say A equals B. Is happy describing Chloe? Seems to be, doesn't it? Chloe felt happy. Happy is how she is. It's describing her. It's not something she's actually doing. She's not touching the happy. That would be kind of weird. So instead, it seems the happy is describing Chloe. This is a description of her. Something you can usually do, not always, but usually, it's a pretty good test, is you should be able to substitute in a form of the verb to be, and it should work. It doesn't always work, but it often does. I could say Chloe is happy today, and it does give the same basic sense as the original sentence. Chloe is happy today means essentially the same as felt happy today. She didn't touch the happy. She wasn't doing something. I was describing her sense of being, how she is. Okay? So that is the A equals B. It works on this one. Chloe felt happy today. So that one's a linking verb. That's what it is. Okay? So that when it worked, it's a linking verb. The logic is there. Let's go to the next one. Boris felt the soft fabric. Now again, you can't just look at it and know. You must run the A equals B test. You can't get around this. So let's try it, because felt or feel is on the linking list. A equals B. Boris, the soft fabric. Is the soft fabric really describing Boris? Not really. It's not who he is. So the A equals B is failing. And notice this. So this doesn't really work. It's not going very well. Notice if I try to put the form of the verb to be in here, Boris is the soft fabric. Notice it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. You can't say Boris is soft fabric, that would be kind of odd. So the A equals B doesn't work. He is, in fact, actually doing something. He's touching the soft fabric. That is an entirely different sense than Chloe felt happy today. This one's an action verb. It's a very different type of verb than this one. Even though they look the same on the surface, they are actually operating according to very different types of logic. This is a linking verb. This is an action verb. Even though they look the same, they are very different types of verbs. And the only way to tell is the A equals B. Does it work? You have a linking verb. Does it fail? You have an action verb. And then you know you're doing something, or somebody is. Let's try it with another one. Sue tasted the burrito. So tasted is on the linking list. Taste is. Okay? So that could be a linking verb. The burrito tasted wonderful. Exact same verb on the surface. Exact same verb on the surface. They look the same. And they're both on the linking list. But I'm telling you, you don't know until you run the A equals B test on it. If it works, you have the linking verb. If it doesn't, you probably have an action verb. Not probably, you do have an action verb. But let's try it. Sue tasted the burrito. A equals B. Is Sue the burrito? Am I describing her as a burrito? I hope not. She's probably not a burrito. That doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. And in fact, if I tried to put in a form of the verb to be, am is, are, was, were, Sue is the burrito, that sounds ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. It breaks down. That is, in fact, an action verb. So in this case, tasted is something Sue is doing. It's an action verb. Sue tasted the burrito. This is not a linking verb. It's on the linking list, but it doesn't work like a linking verb. So it's an action verb. It's not somewhere in between. It's an action verb. It shows this side of the plate. That's where it is. Okay? The burrito tasted wonderful. Same exact verb. Let's try the A equals B on it. A, the burrito, equals B, wonderful. And is wonderful describing the burrito? If we take out tasted, the burrito is wonderful. That means basically the same thing. The burrito is wonderful. The burrito tasted wonderful. It makes sense. In fact, wonderful is most certainly describing that burrito. Notice if you try to make it into an action verb, you would have the burrito going out and tasting the wonderful. It can't do that. That would be very unusual. It can't, go around and order up a wonderful. That instead, this tasted is instead a linking verb. A equals B. That's what it is. And you must run the A equals B on it to determine whether or not it's a linking verb or if it's an action verb. But keep in mind, you first must be on the linking list if you're going to be a linking verb. Other verbs such as run, speak, send, these are not on the linking list. Those are action verbs. You're done. You don't need to do this. You only need to do this with about 10 of those linking verbs, which can sometimes be not linking but action verbs. They look the same. Chloe felt happy today. That's a linking. Boris felt the soft fabric. That's an action. Sue tasted the burrito. That's an action. The burrito tasted wonderful. That's a linking. They look the same on the surface, but the logic behind them is entirely different. And so you're going to be working with a very different type of sentence. An action sentence or a linking sentence where you're describing the subject. Okay? Take care.